All right, let's jump right in. In this explainer, we're going to uncover something incredible, a kind of prophetic blueprint hidden in plain sight within the Holy Quran. It's a promise, really, for the end of all oppression and the beginning of true universal justice. And we're going to explore it through the lens of the 𝙭𝙬𝙗𝙯 to see exactly what the future holds.
So here's the big question we're tackling today. Is the Holy Quran just a book of guidance and history, or is it something more? A living map that actually charts a course towards a promised future. A future that we believe will be led by Imam MAHDI, 𝙭𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗.
Okay, so where do we even start with a blueprint this massive? Well, it all begins with a foundational promise. A promise that comes directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, and it's a promise made to the oppressed and the righteous of the earth.
Our first stop is in the 28th chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Qasas. This single verse really lays the groundwork, the very foundation, for everything that's to come.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين.
But it is our will to favor those who were oppressed in the land, making them models of faith as well as successors.
Now this verse, wow, it has so much depth. You know, on one level, it's about the liberation of the Israelites from the tyranny of Pharaoh. But in Shia tafsir, or interpretation, this is seen as a perpetual, ongoing divine law. The key phrase is "we desired." It's in the present tense, signifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's continuous will. So this isn't just a history lesson, it's a manifesto for all time. And get this, Imam Ali 𝙭𝙗𝙗 connects the dots for us perfectly. In Nahj al-Balagha, he comments on this very verse and applies it directly to his family, the Bayt 𝙭𝙗𝙗. He identifies the mustada'afin, the oppressed, not as some group in the past, but as the very people destined to lead humanity. It confirms that this promise is still waiting for its ultimate fulfillment through them.
So we have this promise of inheritance, but you might be thinking, is that it? No way. This isn't just a one-off mention. It's a powerful theme that's woven throughout the entire divine revelation. Let's look at our second verse.
وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزَّبُورِ مِن بَعْدِ الذِّكْرِ أَنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ إِنَّ فِي هَذَا لَبَلَاغًا لِقَوْمٍ عَابِدِينَ.
Certainly, we wrote in the Psalms after the Torah, "Indeed, my righteous servants shall inherit the earth." There is indeed in this a proclamation for a devout people.
And this is where the promise goes global. You see, commentators like the great Sheikh Tabarsi explain that Zabur here doesn't just mean the Psalms of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam. It can refer to all the prophetic books. This means the promise that the righteous will inherit the earth isn't exclusive to the Quran. It's an eternal divine decree that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stamped across all of his messages to humanity.
And if there was any doubt left, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam clears it all up. He leaves absolutely no room for ambiguity. He explicitly identifies these righteous servants as the companions of Imam Muhammad al-Mahdi, ajalallahu ta'ala farajahu ash-sharif, at the end of time. So the promise made to the oppressed becomes the inheritance of the righteous, which is ultimately fulfilled in the age of our awaited Imam.
All right, so we've established the promise, but now the blueprint gets really interesting. It shifts from a promise to, well, a kind of logical proof. It describes a state of existence so perfect, so peaceful, that a quick look at human history proves it has never happened yet, and that very fact necessitates a future fulfillment.
This brings us to the third piece of our puzzle. It's a verse in Surah An-Nur that doesn't just promise victory, it details the very specific conditions of this incredible future.
وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات ليستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا ومن كفر بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون.
Allah has promised those of you who believe and do good that He will certainly make them successors in the land, as He did with those before them, and will surely establish for them their faith which He has chosen for them, and indeed change their fear into security, provided that they worship me, associating nothing with me. But whoever disbelieves after this promise, it is they who will be the rebellious.
Listen closely to the guarantees here, because this is crucial. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises more than just leadership. He promises the firm establishment of the true religion and, get this, a complete transformation from a state of fear to one of absolute security, a time when He can be worshipped freely, purely, with no partners.
So let's be honest with ourselves. Have these conditions ever been met in history? Has there ever been a time of absolute, total peace for the believers, free from conflict, sectarianism, and oppression? The answer, clearly, is no. And this gap, this chasm between the divine promise and our historical reality, creates what scholars like Allama Tabatabai call a logical necessity. It proves that a future era must come for this verse to be fulfilled.
And once again, who gives us the key to unlock this verse? The Ahl-Bayt alayhim as-salam. The fourth Imam, Ali ibn al-Hussein alayhi salam, confirms with an oath by God that the people this verse refers to are the Shia, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill these promises through a man from his family, the Mahdi of this community.
Okay, we've got the promise, we've got the logic. Now the blueprint gives us something truly dramatic, something tangible. It gives us a terrifying, miraculous sign mentioned in the Quran that will signal the arrival of Imam Mahdi, Ajala Allahu Ta'ala Farajahu Ashrif. For this we turn to the 34th chapter, Surah Saba. Our fourth verse describes a sudden, terrifying, and completely inescapable divine event.
ولو ترى إذ فزعوا فلا فوت وأخذوا من مكان قريب.
If only you could see when they will be horrified with no escape, and they will be seized from a nearby place.
You can just feel the mystery and almost a sense of dread in this verse, right? If thou couldst but see, who are they? Where is this position quite near? Well, the interpretations from the Ahl-Bayt alayhim salam connect this chilling prophecy to a very specific event and a very specific enemy.
That enemy has a name, the Sufyani. The traditions paint a grim picture of him as a tyrant who will emerge from Syria, spreading unimaginable corruption and bloodshed right before the Imam's reappearance. He is the main antagonist whose final destiny is sealed by this very Quranic verse.
And here's how the traditions say it's all going to go down. The Sufyani will send his massive army toward Mecca with the horrific intention of destroying the Kaaba. But as they march through the desert of Bayda, located between Mecca and Medina, by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ground will literally open up and swallow them whole. This is it. This is the seizure from a position quite near, a miraculous, undeniable sign that signals the victory of the Imam.
All right, we've covered a lot. The promise, the logic, the dramatic sign. But now we've reached the climax of the blueprint. This is the final, definitive verse, the real aha moment that proclaims, without a doubt, the inevitable and total victory of truth.
Our final piece of this incredible puzzle is in Surah At-Tawbah. And honestly, this verse is so powerful, so absolute in its declaration, that its non-fulfillment in the past is perhaps the greatest proof that it has to be fulfilled in the future.
هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون.
He is the one who has sent his messenger with true guidance and the religion of truth, making it prevail over all others, even to the dismay of the polytheists.
Really let that sink in. To proclaim it over all religion. We're not just talking about influence or having more followers. This is talking about complete, manifest dominance, spiritually, intellectually and politically, over every other creed, ideology, and way of life on the entire planet. Now I ask you, has that day ever come?
And who gives us the final, crystal-clear answer? Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, alayhi salam. He tells us point-blank that the ta'wil, the true ultimate realization of this verse, has not happened yet. He says it is tied exclusively to one moment in time, the rise of our Qa'im, Imam MAHDI. Only then will the world see what this verse truly means, and the religion of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ will dominate the universe.
So let's put it all together. There it is, the prophetic blueprint laid out for us in the Holy Quran. It starts with a foundational promise to the oppressed. It defines those heirs as the righteous. It describes the end state, a world of absolute peace. It gives us a dramatic sign to watch for, and it culminates in the final, inevitable victory of truth. Each verse builds on the last, creating an undeniable, faith-affirming case.
The blueprint is there. The promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is absolute. And waiting for this future isn't a passive act. It's a state of active, spiritual preparation, of hope, and of striving to be worthy of that new dawn. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. For all the resources and for more reading, please check out the description and the pinned comment below. And if this journey of discovery resonates with you, make sure you subscribe to Light of Shia Islam and join us as we await the promised dawn.